Welcome to Trail Mix, a fresh blend of what's happening at Rowan-Cabarrus Community College and in the world of higher education. It's everything you need to keep you informed, inspired, and as always, navigating forward. If you've ever had a business idea and wondered, where do I even start? Or if you're already running something and just need a sounding board, there's a resource for you right here in our community, and it's free. The Small Business Center at Rowan-Cabarrus has been helping businesses get started and grow for years. And today, we're getting into exactly what it is and what it can do for you. Welcome to Trail Mix. I'm your host, Carter Wingfield, and we have two guests with us today. Meg Johnson, the director of the Small Business Center, and Sammie Abernathy, owner of Redbird Thread Co., a local business in Concord, North Carolina, who has used its resources to help build her company from the ground up. Welcome to the podcast.
Thanks, Carter. Happy to be here. I'm Meg Johnson, director of the Small Business Center at Rowan-Cabarrus. Thrilled to be on Trail Mix, and this will be my 9th year working at Rowan-Cabarrus and my 6th year in this role.
Welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me today. I'm Sammie Abernathy, and I own Redbird Thread Co., which is a fabric and sewing store located in downtown Concord, North Carolina. I opened about 6 months ago.
Awesome. Welcome. Thank both of y'all for being here today.
Thank you.
Meg, let's start with you. A lot of people might be surprised when they hear that Rowan-Cabarrus has a small business center. What does this center actually do, and who is it designed to help?
So small business centers across the state are designed to help small businesses start and grow. We do this through 3 main areas. We offer confidential one-on-one business counseling, entrepreneurial education, usually in the form of short workshops, and community connections.
Okay.
It is designed oftentimes for early and idea stage entrepreneurs. However, we work with all comers, so you don't need to have a certain degree in business, and you don't need to be necessarily early stage. We also serve existing businesses as well.
Oh, okay. So across the whole spectrum, you don't have to be within the first 3, 4, 5 months of opening up a business or before that. Like if you've had an established business, we still have services to help you.
Absolutely.
Awesome. It kind of sounds like these small business incubators or these business idea incubators where they can come and they can grow and they get all the resources they need at the early stages to go out and flourish and develop. But we do a lot more beyond that. It sounds like it.
Yes, we're there for our clients for their full life cycle. I like to tell clients that we're sort of a gateway to the entrepreneurial ecosystem. We're not going to be the only resource you need, but we're a good starting point.
You can at least connect them or point them in the right direction.
Exactly.
Awesome. What is one of the biggest misconceptions people have about starting a business?
A lot of times when I talk to people about starting a business, I hear them say, I want to be my own boss, or
right.
I don't want somebody telling me what to do. However, that misconception, sometimes people aren't expecting the fact that when they first start out, they're also going to be their own HR, their own accounting, their own marketing. And so while you do get to make the choices about what happens, there's a lot of different roles that you're taking on. So it's not necessarily as laid back as people might think. Would you agree with that, Sammie?
Yes, it is a lot that you are taking on at the very beginning. And correct, you're not answering to a boss or a bad boss or a mean boss, but it is a lot of work.
Yeah. I think you hear that a lot. Honestly, I think a lot of people have that own idea, like in the back of their heads, like either when they get frustrated with their job or they're just looking for something different. It's like, man, if I could just do what I love and I wouldn't have to answer anybody, it'd be so much easier. And I think there is some truth to that. Like if you are starting a business about something you're passionate in, you are going to find some joy in that. But yeah, that doesn't mean just because you don't have a boss, you're not going to have a lot of work. You're going to have a whole lot of work, and you're going to have to become knowledgeable in a whole lot of areas you might not have thought about, which I would imagine is the perfect opportunity to connect with the Small Business Center.
Come on down.
So, Sammie, tell us a little bit about Redbird Thread Co. What is it, and why did you start to make it?
So Redbird Thread Co. is a fabric and sewing store. It's essentially a small quilt shop, and I do offer sewing classes as well. I was a middle school dance teacher before I did this, and I was ready to exit teaching.
Okay.
It was time for a variety of reasons, and I had a small business where I was making things and selling them in other little small shops around town, in Kannapolis and in Concord, and I ran into Melissa, who owns Barley Jean Bakery, who has also used the Small Business Center, who was opening a business in downtown. And she said, oh, I'm going in this business, in this building, the District Exchange. You should come with me. And I was like, no, I'm not ready for that. And
it's a
we
big
walked
step.
away. Yeah, we walked away and my husband goes, why not? And I was like, you're maybe right. So it took a little bit of thinking, a couple weeks, and I was like, I'm ready. Let's open a fabric store. So it wasn't exactly what I had been doing, but it was something that I loved. So we're back to fabric, loving sewing, loving making things and teaching people how to make things. And so it's been not necessarily easy, but a lot of it is very rewarding and very close to my heart.
Yeah. And I imagine that background in teaching middle school dance probably comes into play. With some, you teach classes now too. That's a big part of it.
A lot of people ask me if I miss teaching, and I do miss my middle school kids. Don't get me wrong, I miss them, but the actual aspect of teaching is still there. I'm still doing it through my social media. I'm still doing it in the shop with people every day, all the time during classes, and even when classes aren't happening.
Yeah. When did you approach the Small Business Center?
Over the summer, last summer, so 2025 summer, our building that we were going into, the construction kept getting delayed, and Flywheel, which is in downtown Concord, had a bunch of small business classes on Thursday morning. And I went, well, the business isn't open yet. I'll just go to these classes. And through there, they really pushed me to reach out to the Small Business Center, which is where I met Meg in, I think, a social media class, maybe.
I think so.
Yeah, so we were in a social media class together. I met her, and that was my first real true introduction to the Small Business Center. I took a variety of classes. I signed up for counseling, and I even took a class last week on creating partnerships. So I'm still using it.
Yeah. So like you said, Meg, it's not just a one-time use at the beginning. You're there to help them throughout the whole growing process.
All the stages.
Yeah.
For sure.
So Meg, are there any special events that y'all are planning for or looking forward to?
Yeah, the month of May is looking really exciting for us. We have some in-person access to capital events happening. And then, of course, we're celebrating Small Business Week, May 3rd through 9th. Of course, at the Small Business Center, we celebrate small businesses every month.
Well said. Yeah. So, Sammy, was there a specific moment, like a conversation or a piece of advice where something really clicked for you and changed how you started thinking about your business?
I don't think there is a specific moment. I have a lovely character trait where I think I could do everything by myself all the time and figure it out, and I don't need any help. But I'm one or two classes into Flywheel and the Small Business Center, and I'm like, oh, I do need help. I need lots of help. And so it was just kind of a combination of a variety of things that I learned that really came together to help me be able to get to that place for me to open and feel like I was doing stuff right.
Mm-hmm. So where is Redbird Thread Co. today, and where are you hoping to take it? What does it look like in a year from now?
So I guess if we go super short-term goals, it's to make rent every month. And then I am constantly trying to listen to my customers to figure out what I need to bring in, what I actually need to have at the store and what I actually don't need to have at the store. So working through that process and learning them is part of the goal. I would like to be able to have a class schedule that is more thorough and has more options. I would like to eventually be able to hire other people to help me teach classes. Yeah. I have a volunteer right now. My lovely stepmom comes once a week. I would eventually like to hire employees so that potentially classes can be happening at the same time the store is being run, because right now they can't happen at the same time.
Yeah. Is sewing something that you can teach virtually? Online classes, workshops, things along those lines?
Yes and no. I think some stuff 100%. I have rolled around the idea of having a YouTube channel for a while. It's a little bit daunting. So that's coming. I've also rolled around the idea of maybe doing a Zoom class or a Facebook Live or something like that where everybody's working on the same project at the same time.
Yeah. So for participants of these classes, I'm assuming, do they get to keep what they sew?
Yeah.
Yeah. So for those that are listening, you cannot see Sammie's really cool earrings that she's wearing, but they are fabric ruler, like that flexible fabric ribbon ruler.
Oh, you also need to know that Sammy and I met.
I was like, are we telling the story or not? Is it weird?
Sammy and I met because of her earrings. We happened to be sitting next to each other in a small business workshop. And as soon as she sat down, I was like, oh my God, I love your earrings. They were lemon. lemons. And she's like, I just made them. Do you want them? I've only worn them for a couple minutes. And I was like going back and forth in my mind about what's the most appropriate answer, but I really wanted those lemons. So I have them, and I wear them often.
And she put them on.
Those earrings make me really happy. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
What a fun way to meet. And then
She was cracking up. The last person I told was like, even though it's really cute, it might be a little gross.
No, absolutely.
No, I don't think so.
Are those the type of things that you teach in these sewing classes, or like what types of levels do you teach?
So earrings, not necessarily. I've been making earrings for a long time, so I knew that I wasn't going to stop making earrings when I opened the sewing store because I love doing that. Most of the classes I have been teaching so far are for very beginner sewists.
Oh, okay.
So the class that has happened the most is a 4-week class, and day one, we just learn how to use the machine, learn how to plug it in and turn it on and thread it, things like that. And by the end of the class, they have made 3 small projects, and the last project is a pillowcase.
Oh, perfect.
So they do get to take home 3 projects.
Something they get to see every night.
Yeah. And then other classes have been small cosmetic bags, and then one that's more like a craft and less sewing. It's like a 3D flower.
Oh, cool.
So a variety of things. Yeah. Hopefully we'll get into more advanced classes and clothing and stuff like that later, but I'm just not there yet.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. So Meg, when you hear Sammie's experience, is that a pretty typical example of how the center works with their clients, or does it look different for each person?
This is a story that I wish happened with everyone, but everybody's on their own journey. So they're going their own pace. But certainly for all our clients, we have counseling and workshop resources available. It's just different people take different amounts of time to get across the starting line.
Yeah. Beyond one-on-one counseling, what other resources does the center offer?
We're pretty locked in. It's counseling and it's workshops.
Okay.
But in terms of that business counseling, thankfully, people aren't just stuck talking to me. We do contract subject matter experts so that you can sort of have an a la carte counseling journey, whether that's you need to talk to our HR counselor, our CPA counselor. We have somebody for marketing and branding, as well as getting lender ready as well.
And these individuals, do they volunteer their time with a small business center, or do we contract out with them?
We have very limited contracts with these folks, and because they are from different places around the state, a lot of times those special sessions will take place via Zoom.
Yeah.
We do a lot of our counseling since 2020 via Zoom. However, recently we started offering in-person counseling at the Rowan Chamber once a week.
Yeah. And even though there's a price attached to these subject matter experts coming in, but there is no price attached to the people starting their own business. This is a free service that they can go to the community college, go to the small business center and receive, correct?
It is completely state funded.
Yeah.
Our clients don't have to pay a dime for it. I always tell folks I feel like small business Santa Claus. It's wonderful to be able to give out help to my community and to do it for free.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, that's part of our name, Rowan-Cabarrus Community College. If we're not helping the community grow, then I don't think we're doing our job here. So I love that this is a free service. I love, Meg, how passionate you are about the Small Business Center. I love hearing stories like Sammie's about how a company is thriving with an early start with a Small Business Center. So, Meg, for someone listening right now who wants to connect with the Small Business Center, what's the very first step that they should do?
The first step would be to visit our website. That's where you can register for counseling or for a workshop. And you can also read success stories of our clients. That's a good way to get an idea of how everybody's journey and success story looks different and is defined differently.
Mm-hmm. And that website, for those listening, www.rccc.edu/SBC for Small Business Center. So yeah, you can find out a lot more information on the SBC and what it does at that website. So Sammie, last question as we're closing. If you could look back at an earlier self, what's one piece of advice you would give your earlier self about starting a business?
I think if somebody told me to stop being a chicken and just go to the resources that are there to help you from the get-go, I would have been in a better place a little bit faster, because I signed a lease with not much of a plan other than I was going to open a store, thinking that I could just chat GPT my way through setting up an LLC and doing this and doing that, which you can, but it becomes easy when there's people in your corner to help you. So I think I would say, don't be a chicken and ask for help.
Yeah.
Especially when it's free help, and it's not just like free crummy help. It's free, very good help.
You hear that? We're free, very good help. That's going to be our slogan moving forward. You're going to see it on billboards. Just Rowan-Cabarrus Community College, free, very good help.
It was very helpful. And Meg did set me up with like a contract person because I needed help writing. Like I was trying to get a loan.
Yeah.
And so I was somebody who did receive counseling through a contracted person, and I got the loan. It was fantastic.
Oh, awesome.
It was very long and stressful, but it happened.
How did that feel when you got that notification?
Oh my gosh. I received the notification 2 days before my storefront was opening.
Wow.
Because I was like, I have to open no matter what.
Yeah.
But it just made everything feel so much easier.
Oh, that stress, that tense going
it
into
just
opening day.
Felt so much easier.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story with us about Redbird Thread Co.
If I could jump in, Carter,
for sure.
I would just say the next time you're in downtown Concord or you visit the District Exchange, be sure to go upstairs. Just head for that top right corner, because if you haven't stepped inside Sammie's store, you're missing out. It's one of the happiest, most fun places that I can go to when I'm downtown.
It feels very good inside. And I know it's my store and I made it, but I made it so I feel good when I'm in there. And I think it makes other people feel good. But I'm really lucky because Meg's office is like 3 blocks away. So I get to see her all the time too.
There you go. So yeah, downtown Concord, Redbird Thread Co. Make sure you stop by. Take a class.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to learn how to sew. I feel like my fingers aren't really built for small needles and stuff. So maybe you could give me some pointers on like, it's for everybody, right? I could do it. If you can teach me to sew, you can teach anybody to sew.
Yeah. Let's do it. Come on down.
So Sam, where can we follow your business?
I have social media on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, and they are all under the name Redbird Thread Co.
Okay, go give it a follow.
Thank you.
Well, thank you all for being part of today's conversation. This has been really good.
Thanks,
Carter.
So if you own a small business or you are thinking about owning a small business and would like some help on getting started or continuing to grow, the Small Business Center is here to help. You can learn more about upcoming workshops or classes or schedule a free counseling session. All of that you can find at www.rccc.edu/SBC. Thanks for listening to Trail Mix. For more stories, updates, and to learn more about how Rowan-Cabarrus Community College can help you navigate forward, visit us at www.rccc.edu. Next time on Trail Mix.
Here at Rowan-Cabarrus, we have a home simulation lab, kind of like what we would use for our interventions with our clients. But having those experiences and getting to see how I can help people was really the big indicator for me. You know, I was like, this is what I want to do.